Oh, yeah. Y'all tuned in once again for another funky episode of Just Got High with your boy Optimo Ram in the house, sponsored by Funk Extracts. Y'all make sure y'all checking out that funk. We just dropped some fire-ass rosin out there at y'all's favorite shop, so y'all make sure you go pick it up. And then we got these 2-gram baller buckets now too, man. Y'all got to make sure you're funking with it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we're going to be getting in today. And today we have a very special guest, one of my favorite people in the industry. This cannabis industry here in Oregon is so full of so many unique and different personalities and just great people. I've really met some amazing people along my way, from growers to processors to, you know, dispensary managers to everything. This young man here is something special, and he really does a good job of bringing everybody together and really curating what's up in Oregon, I should say. And whenever I'm trying to figure out, you know, is this thing the shit, is this thing what's up, I kind of see what my boy is talking about. And the man himself, Mr. Makani from the Oregon Leaf.
Hey,
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, you know. Just finally finished COVID
Nice.
like a little bit ago, and it was going crazy. Spent a week inside, and
They finally got you.
yeah, finally
Yeah,
got me.
yeah.
It happened, I guess. But
Was it bad?
honestly, at first, like I thought I had it, but it turned out it was just a cold. Then I felt good, and then I got it randomly, so it wasn't too bad though. I
That's
felt like a
crazy.
mild cold.
Yeah, just a real mild cold. But
Yeah.
you're vaccinated and
Yeah.
you've been
Yeah,
good,
exactly.
good.
The worst part was congestion,
Yeah.
because it was kind of like a dry congestion, so you couldn't really blow your nose or anything. And so that I definitely, like, on 420 took a dab and was like, okay, I'm not going to smoke today. I can't
Yeah.
taste anything.
I feel that when that happens and you get a cold and it's hard to smoke. Cause yeah, if you're not a big dabber, you know, you don't know, when you get sick, you really can't smoke like that, because it fucks you up.
Yeah.
Did you eat edibles instead or do something like that?
Yeah. So I like eating edibles, and then it is difficult. The majority of the edibles on the market have a lot of sugar in them.
Yes, they do.
So one of the tricks I usually use is buying RSO
Nice.
and eating that. Yeah.
Just putting a little bit. So that's smart. Let's talk about that for a second, man. See, that's what I'm saying. You're the man, dog. There's a lot of people out here, but you always got something insightful or good to think about. Because that's kind of my problem too. I'm trying to get rid of this jelly roll. You know what I'm saying? But like, I keep on eating a bunch of edibles, but they are full of sugar. And so yeah, taking some RSO, which you tell the people who might not know what's RSO.
Yeah, so the RSO is Rick Simpson oil, or also known as full extract cannabis oil, FICO. It's really good for people with cancer or severe pain. You can ingest like a little bit of it, and it's so concentrated that it's very effective for having to consume a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the serving size that they have on there is like the size of a rice
piece of rice. Yeah. That's a serving of FICO, because that's how potent it is.
Yeah. So when I was bud tending, I would always recommend it to our cancer patients or whatnot, and they come in, and I always took them up with discounts, because I know they're going to come back every week for it.
Yeah.
So you got to try and help out where you can.
I dig that. How much do you take when you're partaking?
So I guess, like, in a gram, typically there's about like 780 milligrams. And I'd usually eat like a half gram or something. Nice. So one time I did eat like a 780 milligram one, and
oh shit,
yeah, it's like high for 3 days.
Yeah.
It got tiring, that's for sure.
It's like after like 10 hours, it's like, all right, I'm trying to come back to normal, but
yeah, I'm kind of talking slow,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's dope, man. I like getting insanely high like that sometimes, but we're so busy these days. It's tough to take that chunk of time out to just like, X off for just getting totally wasted out of your mind.
Yeah, and I think it was really interesting to see with Corona, going around with everyone in lockdown, like edible sales go up, because everybody was just sitting inside. And I think one of the things that people who are more affected by edibles kind of hesitate to eat them daily is the fear of waking up with a quote unquote weed hangover. Just being a little bit more tired. But during that time, I think everybody was staying inside, so I definitely heard the edible sales were like going crazy. But yeah, what a weird time.
It was crazy, and I'm glad we're finally just getting out of it. not like, totally sold on we're completely out of it yet. I'm
Yeah.
waiting, especially with what's going on in China and everything. You've been
Oh
following that
God.
news, and it's really
Yeah.
awful,
Yeah.
man.
It's
And
freaky.
it is pretty scary. It's because, like, I mean, how bad of an outbreak are they having to the where they're acting, where they're treating their citizens like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just fucked up. I was watching some real crazy videos. You follow that page, Real News, no bullshit, on Instagram?
I think I follow a couple different ones like Atlas News,
Yeah, yeah.
Rose Warfare.
Yeah, Rose Warfare. They're
Yeah.
based out of Texas. They get, there's a few good sites on the internet, on Instagram specifically, where you can find like the real news that's not biased, and really what's going on. That's what I hate about the media these days
Yeah.
is everything's, you can't really trust it. You have to kind of go get the other's perspective and then kind of find your
Oh, I
media.
go on both. It makes me crack up.
Yeah.
I open CNN, then I open Fox. I'm like, all right, what are these two idiots saying? And
Yeah.
then then you open up online, and online's great, but then at the same time, you go to the comment section. You're like, oh geez,
It's scary to see the comment
oh
section.
geez.
It doesn't give you much hope for humanity when you read the comment section.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. That's
It's-
the freakiest.
It's
part.
way nicer in Portland. I say, coming from Houston, man. Like, the local news in Houston, when like somebody will do something, it gets so bad and racist. They're like, just fucking kill them, just kill them. But here it's much more compassionate, and people are like, oh, we really need to think more about what this community is suffering through. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's so funny to see like the different perspectives of people from different parts of the country looking at the same thing. And that's cool. It's like the different perspective on everything, man. It's just like, where people come from, and they have a whole different view. I think cannabis being one thing, but you grew up in Hawaii, right?
Yeah. So I was born in Minnesota and then moved to Hawaii when I was 1, and was pretty much raised there.
That's
But
dope.
I think when I was like 12, my parents had like a midlife crisis and picked up and moved. So I traveled across the U.S., lived in Canada, lived in the Caribbean, and then lived in like Europe for a year in Malta,
Dude,
and then
dope.
came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a kid, it's tough to be, bouncing
Dude,
around
I
like
was
that.
a teenager. I was 13, so I fucking hated it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Now I
Yeah.
look back though, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's cool. But yeah, when you're trying to make friends and keep your friends and shit like that, I
Yeah.
bet that's tough to
and like not be in a boat with your parents. So like we were in a 38-foot catamaran. So like
no shit.
you got like a really tiny space with a raging 13-year-olds.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. Oh, when I was 13, I was like gang banging and everything. Oh man, that would have been bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then over there in Europe, it's totally different. Like we were 14. You can go to nightclubs, and my friends are 14 taking like 10 shots. Everyone smokes cigarettes, and it's like, whoa,
that's wild.
This is crazy.
That is wild. When did you start smoking weed?
Oh, I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
I played a lot of video games in high school, and wasn't the nicest person.
Yeah.
And my dad was always like, "You're a dick," blah, blah blah. And I was like, "Okay, look, like I'm getting to the age now where like, I'm gonna either play video games or I'm gonna go smoke weed and like go outside and have fun with all these other kids." And so then I started smoking when I was 16, because he was like, "All right, whatever. Like, I know you're gonna do it. Go have fun." And so that just opened up a whole new realm of friendship. Especially in high school. Like our class was a really big stoner class. So
nice.
Yeah.
Was that here in Oregon?
No, that was back in Hawaii.
Oh, in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Nice. You went to high school in Hawaii.
Yeah.
How's the cannabis laws in Hawaii? Is it pretty lax out there?
There. Okay. So there. I'm kind of biased because like I did get in trouble one time, and like the cops pulled me out, and they told me that weed kills more people than crystal meth every year. So like I'm convinced that like the laws they did relax recently. They're finally having better medical weed out there. They have dispensaries. I think they brought that back or they brought it first to like 3 years ago or something like that, 4 years ago. But Hawaii is really weird where like you can't advertise your stuff. So, patients don't know what's on the menu. They have to like go in and actually check it. It's relatively easy to get your card now though, which I've heard, which is awesome. But in my opinion, there's two things that Hawaii is going to legalize, and it's going to either be gambling or cannabis. And I think gambling is going to go first. Like the police kind of just really don't like weed. B, Hawaii has a lot of like Chinese people. And like the Chinese love to gamble.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like, and gambling is a great moneymaker for the state.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's dope. So they're actually about to get some. It would be kind of fun to go to a casino in Hawaii. I think that would be kind of
I
dope.
don't know. I don't think there's any plans for it soon, but
Yeah,
I'm definitely believe that that would happen before weed. I don't. It drives me nuts because you're like, man, like, why isn't weed legal in Hawaii?
yeah.
You know?
It seems like it would be like a super great place for it, but at least they got a medical program going on out there.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
that's cool. But yeah, I bet it's a tough place to get weed if you're not growing it. Ooh.
Well, I mean, the ones who are doing it right, hate to say it, if they legalize it, Florida, like
Yeah,
it's gonna, they have a lot of corporate like shitty weed out there. I hate to say like True Leave and whatnot, but um, you know, some of our homies now like Doghouse are going out there
yeah.
and in terms of like a tourist destination, you've got the nice beach.
Hmm.
Pretty much all of my friends in Europe, whenever they would visit the States, it would be Florida.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, like,
Florida's
yeah,
dope, man.
imagine coming from Europe, flying over, smoking legal weed on a beach.
Yeah.
Like, they're about to kill it.
That's so dope. And I always talk about how Oregon is like the epicenter of cannabis culture. And but it's going to be interesting to see how we're affected by, states, yeah, like Florida being able to supply themselves with weed now. Like that's going to
Mm,
be a big hit, especially to the traditional side. Like
mhm.
these motherfuckers got their own weed now. Like Island Boys out there, with their own strain soon and shit like that. It's going to be interesting. And, how is that affect? Me personally, I'm holding out on the idea that when the interstate sales open up, that Oregon will become, because it's the perfect place to grow weed, but will it be too past the point, to where everybody else got their own weed, or will Oregon become like how it's like wine is like, what I'm saying?
I
Like,
I think that's it's really difficult to tell. Like
mhm.
my hope is like, you keep the corporate companies over in the East Coast and it sucks, don't let the little guy do it, but have them keep pumping out shitty weed
Yeah,
and then, have us send over the good weed. Because, at the end of the day, we are a select few, who actually like give a shit about weed and stuff, but the
yeah,
majority of the population doesn't.
that's true.
The majority of the population would like, take one puff off a joint. So
Hmm.
like, let those big ass companies sell all that to people, but the people who actually give a shit, have them like order
Yeah,
in like specialty. Like you see that happen already with hash, with the
yeah,
black market.
that's true.
Everyone's like, oh my god, like I got this hash from over there. It's just, once it's federally legal, it'll be easier to send weed.
Yeah, yeah, for real. It would be. Oh man. And getting that hype behind those type of products to make people want it to order it. So let's talk about that for a second. Like, because I would say like you're probably somebody who understands how do you get the hype behind a product. Let's say there's a grower out here and he's actually grown something super dope. Like, what advice would you give to him to, like, if you want to create some hype behind your product? How's that shit work for people? You know what I mean? Like,
I would say, definitely social media and advertising. You're gonna have to spend a lot of money to make money,
yeah,
especially if you're gonna go out there and say, hey, I'm gonna create this hype strain. And like, unless you have a following, you're really gonna have to do the legwork.
yeah,
We're seeing right now, what's his face, Clout King.
hmm,
He's doing his rounds right now, dropped with Eastwood and I think His and Her Grow.
yeah,
They're doing like the lemon cherry turds and
hmm,
like, that the turds brand that dude's been building for like 2 years. He's been posting like, that shit on
yeah,
Instagram and
yeah,
stuff. And so now it's finally here. But now he's finally reaping the reward. But still, that's 2 years of just talking about it and
hmm,
just hyping it
just
up,
building that hype. Yeah, yeah.
and then having his like lawyer dude for the memes and
That
stuff,
guy, yeah, that guy's pretty funny. R. Stan,
or
something.
Stanley or
Yeah, that
something. Yeah,
motherfucker's funny.
Stan the man.
That dude's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting and to watch everybody's like little needs or how they do it to like get things hype and everything.
And don't fold.
No,
I think that's my piece of advice. And it's really hard to say, but like, just like if you think that your product is like premium and you think that it's worth that, don't go for any less.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
otherwise, people just be like, well, he went for less, so he probably doesn't think it's that great.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's a problem I'll find myself get into sometimes because I really, it's important for us to be like affordable, but then sometimes I feel like, oh, I should make this more expensive. So people will be like, oh, it's that good. Because if people see it's not, $60 or $70 gram of hash, they're going to be like, oh, well, it must not be that good.
Luckily, you have hash land
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's another thing. I was talking to a client the other night, and he's saying he's thinking about with their expansion doing some like bee buds or something for more affordable for the people.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's a great idea and everything, but you just make a B brand. Like, don't like if somebody sees your brand on the bottom shelf, they'll just immediately associate that.
Exactly.
I don't believe in shelves anymore because there's so
Mhm.
much fire going for like dirt cheap.
It's yeah,
That
it's really insane, and we have it so good in Oregon right now, and
oh,
it's
bless.
oh my god, yeah, for real. It's like sad, because I get if I was a consumer, I'd be thrilled, but as a person trying to like
Yeah,
monetize this industry, it's like, oh, fuck. I'll
yeah,
take two though, like, what I'm
yeah,
saying, like,
yeah.
but oh man, it's awful. I mean, like, but I don't know, I don't know what the answer is, and like we were talking about in the car earlier while we are getting high, that that there's a lot of room for stabilization on the rosin side of the market. I feel like BHO's kind of stabilized. I mean, you just can't make it for any cheaper, people. Okay,
Yeah.
like I can't sell it to you for any fucking cheaper. Jesus Christ. And it's really like disheartening. You go to these shops and they're just like, oh, this guy is going out of business, selling this shit for $3.50 a gram. I'm like, yeah, dude, well, I ain't going out of business and I'm taking care of my farms.
Yeah.
Like fuck y'all, man. Not you, but people with that fucked up attitude, because
Yeah.
they're just fucking the game up for everybody, and it trickles down to the farmers, especially, like because they're the ones at the end of the rope, and it's tough to see. And I hate, I've had a lot of friends go out of business this year, and it's rough. But this game, it ain't easy, and the state hasn't made it easy for us. And I mean, where do you see, you see the market kind of has been stabling out recently, or we're just like feeling good because it's 420? Don't get too excited,
Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's definitely not. Like it kind of did, and I hate to say it, without COVID, like this industry would have really, really like I probably would have been out of it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
COVID was the best for us. Which is really difficult because having a lot of friends who work in the service industry and stuff, you're like,
Mhm.
oh, how's your COVID? They're like, oh, it's terrible. Haven't done any work. But I think it it's going to stabilize eventually. It is going to be summer. People are going to get outside again, start smoking weed. Like last summer, it felt a lot different because it wasn't the summer we had COVID.
Yeah.
So like last summer felt like it was a lot worse, but let's be honest, like it was okay.
Mhm.
It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't like horrible.
Yeah.
And so this is also just something that happens every year, but everybody still freaks out. It's like, come on, like
Yeah.
it's like, December, it's pretty much useless to make any sales because the dispensaries have to clear shelves.
Mhm.
Hopefully fucking that gets fixed because that's what
That's what screws
up.
everything up. Yeah,
Yeah.
December, because that's what happens is like, yeah, like me as a processor, I take all my product from my farms from like September till December,
Yeah.
and everybody wants a payout, within a couple of months, but it's like from no, from pretty much from Thanksgiving until spring break, we're just paying the bills,
Yep.
and it gets
Yep.
really tough, and it's like juggling that money, man, is so fucking hard. Like I didn't have these grades in my beard before I got my license. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, dude, like, and just trying to take care of everybody and making sure that people understand it, and most people are understanding, and everybody, we're all in this together. And it's, man, it's a thing that'll make people, I don't know, think twice before you jump in this game.
It's
Man.
cutthroat out
It
there.
is,
Yeah. And
man.
I
It
tell
really is.
people that want to join, I say, okay, like join, but watch your back.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
And just like take care of yourself. That's the number one thing
Yeah.
I can tell people because like it's people will use and abuse you, unfortunately.
Big time. I got used and abused before I finally was able to become my own boss, which I'm so grateful for. But a lot of times I'm so stressed out all the time. I'm like, man, it would be so great just to work for somebody, and then at 5 o'clock I can clock out and then don't have to worry about it anymore. Like that, the peace of mind of that is very like ideal. But man, like at the end of the day, like I can do what I want when I want and like how I want to do it, and that's really dope. But
that's where I'm at, man. It's a wave, and
yeah,
I'm riding this wave right now, and
yeah.
it hasn't completely ended for me yet. So
No,
I definitely have that kind of backup plan. But
yeah.
right now I'm like, fuck, this is dope. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, dude, you have a dope thing, and I really like what you do. And I've been working with you for a while, and I appreciate your approach in the industry. And if you don't know, my boy Makani is. So, what exactly is your role at the Oregon Leaf?
So I'm the sales director. So we're a free magazine, so we're completely funded by ad sales. Right now, I am the acting state director as well, and so that's kind of more helping on like the content side. Kind of where we differentiate from other people is typically in magazines, especially in the cannabis magazines, you have advertorials where people will essentially pay you publish what they wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And so like our big thing is kind of separating ads from content, where our content's going to be free minus the samples that you give for a review and
Right.
for photography. But like we're never going to be like, hey Ram, I'm not going to ever review your stuff again because you're not buying an ad type of thing.
Right.
So it's it definitely, when the market hurts, we feel it too.
Definitely.
But at the same time, I'm still blessed that we don't feel as bad.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, people always say like thank you for doing your work and everything like that, but I always try to remind people, like, no, y'all are the ones who are taking the chances, taking the risk, and if you weren't here, then we wouldn't have a magazine. So like, ultimately I really try to turn that around onto people, because I'm like, you guys are out here risking your stuff, you know what I'm saying?
I dig it. Well, I appreciate it, man. You've always been so great to work with. And when we first started Funk, y'all made sure to come through and gave us a real great write up and everything. That really like meant the world to me, to see our product in print, and, a big, beautiful picture and a very nice,
Bro,
well
those
written
fucking
write up.
boxes, man.
Yeah,
That was
man.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like when we saw that, we were like, what the hell? Like, it's like a little record player.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
that's awesome.
I need to bring it back more into the, as the market's, taking that nosedive. I've kind of, I reserved the boxes for just like the live resin now, but like I was doing the jars for just the rosin because they're trying to be eco-conscious, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I didn't want to bring the boxes back in, but man, nobody's smoking live resins no more. So the boxes are starting to become like a little too obsolete for me. So I'm going to try and figure out how to get that in the box. And nobody wants live. Think about it. I mean, like, especially here in Portland, I personally feel that a lot of people will look bad at you if you're like, yo, I got some hydrocarbon extraction.
I think it got shot down because it's just like you can get fire live resin or whatever for like $15 a gram out the door. Not fire by particularly my standards, but like, are you kidding me? Like $15 gets you that? Like,
exactly.
even some of the
it's
stuff
like,
I'm seeing for 10 or 12 out the door, like whoa.
Whoa, yeah. But how long are these companies going to be in?
I think that if they figure out how to make it work, they should be fine.
Yeah.
And just not worry about it, and just know that it's just going to take a longer period of time.
Yeah,
or
your margins aren't where they're supposed to be. And we all, I knew that, getting in. Yeah.
Own that category. That's why I'm like there are these 10, 15 or $12 grams, but there's definitely some companies where like, oh, that's pretty fucking decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, making a quality product it's going to sell. You might have to sell it for less than you want, but if it's quality, people are going to pick it up and fuck with it.
And let's be honest, the Oregon market's hard. I keep trying to tell people, like, if they're freaking out about the Oregon market, like, we have less than 4.5 million people in the state. Less than 1 million probably smoke weed.
Yeah.
Probably like a couple thousand smoke it like we do.
Yeah.
Like, start worrying about when you go to like a city, so you have like the population of Oregon in like a 30-mile
for
radius,
real. Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah, in Houston, I mean, it's almost 7 million people in the metroplex of Houston. I mean, that's almost double the whole state. And I was like, damn, that'd be wild to like sell to that many people.
Are they getting close over there?
I don't think so.
No,
it doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Not in Texas. They got these crazy Republican governor right now who's
medical there, right?
No,
No,
nothing. Yeah, they have like, they might have some kind of like CBD thing, but like no THC. They do have some kind of like CBD thing, but even that, I haven't seen anybody doing anything with it. They are opening up tons of smoke shops everywhere. Like when I went back to Houston in October, like, oh my God, it's like more smoke shops in Houston than there are dispensaries in Oregon. Like it's like every
Delta
block.
8
Yeah,
stuff.
everybody's selling that bullshit. And then they even have like little rogue dispensaries. My buddy was telling me about, and I didn't believe them that they were actually selling weed.
I saw. That's why I was confused, because like I saw they were like hemp bars, but they're selling
weed. Yeah. My homeboy's got one, and like one of my homeboys got one. My homeboy goes to one, and he was telling me when I'm back home, he's like, "No, we just go to this dispensary." And I was like, "No," because I got my jack. I had brought a little exit bag full of goodies, and it got jacked at the airport, man, from somebody. I didn't vacuum seal it, and I think they could smell it. It was some of that Han Solo burger from like.
Did you put it in your check?
Yes, in my check luggage.
Yeah, I always, whenever I take stuff, I bring in my carry-on.
Do you? I get paranoid about having it right there through the X-ray shit.
I do, but
I always get searched.
I play dumb.
Yeah.
Like my approach is like, if they catch me, I'll just be like, oh, what? Just throw that away,
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say
like,
too. Yeah.
If you put it in your check, you have the chance that they'll just take it.
Yeah.
I did when I went to Vegas, had a TSA guy pull me out, and like he went to my bag and opened a jar of my dabs and like smelled it and like looked hella confused and then put it back in the bag. I was like, all right, sweet.
No shit. Yeah. That happened to me in LA. I was coming from that Chalice festival that Hitman Dougie used to do. And like I thought I had taken everything out, but I had 1 gram of shatter like in this like pocket.
Yeah.
And like I was about to go through that thing. He's like, everything out your pocket. And I felt it. I was like, oh shit. I was like, he's like, just keep it in your hand. I was like, okay. And I went through the thing like that. And then the dude, he's like, let me see what you got. And I was like, there you go. And he's like, oh, that's cool, man. You go ahead. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh my God. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was like, I got away. And so I've just been super casual. One time I had like an exorbitant amount of shatter maybe on me at the airport, and the dog came by and like sniffed me and sniffed my bag and just kept going. I was like, oh, I'm golden. So like this time I was like, I just threw that shit in my bag and wasn't thinking nothing about it. And then they got me. My homeboy picked me up. I was like, man, check this out. This is the Han Solo burger. I was like showing him pictures. I was like, we about to roll it up, bitch. And then my bag was gone. And then I bought him like, some stuff too. And he thought that I was like bullshitting. Like I left it because it was so good that I wanted to keep it for myself. I was like, bro, God. I was like, dude, I'm swimming in this shit, man.
It's
Trust
like,
me.
No, this is weed. This is weed too. Like we like to share that shit.
Even if it's really good, I don't give a shit that much anymore. I used to, but not anymore. I was like, and that's how I feel like I've gotten jaded at this point. So I've smoked everything, and so I'm like, even my stuff, and it's not good when I'm going out delivering and everything. I'm like, oh, this one's really good, but these two, they're all right, and like,
that's why like last year I like stopped dabbing for a second because I have like this idea that everybody's gonna wash what dumps. That's only what makes sense in this market. So like after harvest season they find the genetic that dumps, and then all you get is that. So like we had a lot of GMO last year, and now this year we're getting flooded with papaya. I love papaya, but everyone knows it dumps, so you're gonna have all these papaya crosses.
I know.
And so I think it's gonna be this interesting cycle of like wait till harvest season, and then they have all these phenos that they get to test and everything like that.
The straw guava was last year or the year before too. The same thing. Well, if that's a concern of yours, my friend, I'll let you know that you don't have to worry about that at Funk Extracts, because we got a lot that ain't dumping very well. I just got the phone call with this other one that just it's not dumping, which is disappointing because there goes the money. But at the end of the time, we're doing splits with the farmers.
Put it higher. Put it for higher.
That's
price,
what I'm
dude.
doing.
Like again, that we were talking earlier, like the face on fire. Like that was again some of my favorite smoke that I've had this year. And if you do that and you only have like let's say like Eastwood, he did that wash of the Runs Horchata. It's 55 grams, sold it for 100 grams, $100 each a gram. And like people ate it up, because there's only 55. So if you get some like small one, label it or something.
That's real. That's real. And
that's the hype building.
That is, and that's true because oh, I didn't even think about it. I'm just always trying to be affordable, but like if it's only 50 grams out of this fucking 30-pound batch,
like the rainbow belts.
I should have taxed a little bit more. But next time. But right now I'm just trying to get people to understand that our rosin's pretty good, and but some of the farms would be like, you should probably charge a little more for that. I'm like, I know, a couple more rounds, but I just want the people to get a try. There's so much stuff on the market right now, and everybody's swimming in rosin, we're swimming in dabs. It's nuts, man.
And as we said, it's like it hurts a little bit less when you mess up with a $30 gram if you get one that you don't like, as opposed to like a $60-$70 gram.
Exactly.
And you're just like, oh my
God. For real. And so before we get up out of here, let's talk about the Oregon Leaf Bowl that I feel like you're the one that's kind of been putting all this shit together.
So it's been a team effort. I went out and did a lot of the initial sales and like invitations to come. The event itself was like put together by Bobby Black. He used to help put it together, the High Times.
Yeah, I remember him.
He used to put together the High Times stuff. So it was really nice to have somebody who already knew how to do most of this, because it's their first year. It's really kind of tough, but we really wanted to make sure this year that people know that they're gonna be entering products into a real competition without any bias or anything like that. So we didn't let anybody sponsor.
Nice.
Specifically because in the past sponsors have won, and we would hate to have a sponsor win because their product's good, but then
Yeah.
people think they didn't deserve it.
There's a lot of that, and the people are quick to judge that.
Yeah. So this is the first one. It's gonna be at the North Warehouse. It's gonna be awesome. Open bar. We're gonna have outside consumption. It's fun. We really want to bring more events to Oregon. It's something that I think everybody needs. Everybody's kind of been doing their own separate
Yeah.
things since COVID, and getting behind their phones, and how it all gets when you start looking at other people's Instagrams and stuff. So
Yeah.
we just got to get together, smoke down, hug it out, have
I
fun.
dig that, man. Yeah. So bring some unity back to the community, because we've been almost conditioned to not want to be around each other. And we're like nervous to be around each other and like give each other a hug and be like, man, what's up?
Oh
like
yeah.
Passing a joint together, and people are nervous to smoke together. And it's like, hopefully we'll get past that. I mean, as long as it's, got to be safe, of
Yeah,
course.
and
But,
me,
like,
I'm a hugger. So
yeah,
I'd
me
go up to
too.
people, I'm like, come here. Like, they have their hands out.
I know.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Same me too. I'm a hugger. And I'm like, what's up? And some people are like, I'm like,
yeah.
hey, how you doing? But no, it's it's nice to see everything coming back, and I'm thrilled for this event. I'm going to be there this weekend. I didn't enter anything this year. I couldn't get my rainbow belts and shit up here in time for you. Next year, I'm coming correct. Next year, I'm entering a bunch of categories. We're going to go hard, and I really wanted to. But shout out to everybody who entered, and shout out to all the winners and everybody who participated. I've been following a couple people online who've been showing some of the stuff. It looks really good. And I'm very impressed. High Times has just completely fallen apart as a company and brand, and nobody wants to be around that. And I'm really excited for you guys to be kind of stepping in. Y'all have done an excellent job with your magazine, I have to say too. Kudos to that, for real. Like I'm pretty, like like I said, I'm pretty jaded on shit. I'm like, everything sucks. This is whack. Blah blah blah. But y'all's magazine is very dope, and y'all, the articles that you do are on point. I love all the advertising, and it's well put together, and it's something I'm proud of. That is something that I can tell people to go check out a advertisement for Funkin', man.
Thank you, man. I mean, that's the best part of doing this. Like, it is a labor of love. Like, it's tiring as hell doing it every single month. I have my week, where like I'm freaking out. But again, it's fun. You can gas people up. At the end of the day, we could slam people, but nobody benefits from that. And in my opinion, we got Instagram for
that. You're right. That's for real. Yeah, that's how you do it. Man, but Makani, I appreciate you, for real, man. Keep up the great work, and much respect, man. You're doing a great thing. That's somebody we really need in this industry, to have a good, positive person like yourself being that connect for us to get our advertisements out to the people. So keep doing what you're doing. Y'all make sure to get that Oregon Leaf every month at your favorite dispensary. And if you weren't at the bowl, man, y'all missed out. Y'all be there next year. And man, yeah, for real. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you coming through. And y'all keep funking with us, man. Funk Extracts, funkextracts.com. On Instagram, we got that funk for your trunk, whether it's our B brand Hashland, or our funk in the jar, or a premium live resin, our record player box, or that rosin, baby. We got you covered. No matter who you are or what you're trying to dab on, we got something for you. So make sure you're funking with us, because we're here for the people. For the people, by the people. And remember to support all your local businesses and artists, because if it ain't local, it ain't live, baby.